Hello everyone, welcome to Jargus Ranger Review. This time we'll be looking at the 14th episode of Super Megaforce, The Grass is Always Greener, or Bluer. And this starts off Noah in a computer lab at school, making a new blaster that requires 2 Ranger keys. And why he's doing this at school instead of the command center, I do not know. We've been better off doing that with Tensu, Self, and Gosei. But then Jake runs in the room and he's trying to hide from Emma. So apparently he promised her that he'd go to this bird sanctuary with her, but he really don't want to go. And of course his attempts at hiding go about as well as you might expect from this clown. So on the way, our 2 Rangers hear some screaming and go to check it out. And it's our new monster, Transfer. And his little trick is that he can swap the brains of 2 people somehow. So since the Armada can't win with a direct invasion, thanks to the Power Rangers, they decide it's best to take over from within by swapping an ambassador's body with their own soldiers. But the other Rangers show up as well and start fighting, and that kinda goes out the window. While the others are taking out their usual exports, Jake and Noah are teaming up to take out Transfer. And they're winning pretty well. But he gets away. But after they unmorph is when the real fun begins. When someone calls to Noah, it's Jake's body that responds. And so the 2 are a bit confused at it. But then they slowly turn their heads and look right at each other. Or themselves. So after a brief bout of confusion, they have to pretend to be each other at school. And it's a bit of a spark to go at first until they're back in Mr. Burley's class. In which case, Jake, according to what he can see, is answering all the questions, and Noah, the one who supposedly knows everything, doesn't say a thing. So he calls Jake, in Noah's body, to his office, asking if anything's wrong, and he just blows it off so casually. And it's making him really confused now because, really, he may be the teacher, but he's always there for nothing but comic relief. And we do see Gia start getting attracted to Jake. Well, his body at least. So back at the Armada, the Prince Vekar is pissed again that the monster failed, but he is bragging about switching the Rangers' bodies. So his reaction is, "Oh, so you're proud that you failed." It's never an unfunny moment with that guy. But at the command center, the new blaster still isn't finished. So Noah realizes that it requires the help of all the Rangers to do it, while he builds a new one. But that doesn't mean they all just act like his assistants, while in Jake's body still, to help build it. So while he's working on finishing up the monster attacks, but he says he'll be okay to finish it by himself for a bit. So Troy says we have to fix this. Which means he actually talks for once. Because he's barely said a word all season. Not since the initial problems of Robo Knight has he actually talked. I guess he's not just in the background anymore. But Tensu is having trouble finding Orion, so he doesn't join the battle right away. What a convenient way to leave him out of the scene. It's almost like he didn't have any footage to adapt of him, you know? But the Green Ranger, as Noah, is testing the blaster, but he gets attacked. Luckily, all the other Rangers join quickly against this new monster. It's not Transferer, it's called Turtellini, because he's got a big turtle shell that can block things. You can't use the new blaster because it's been overloaded. So instead they try to use a Super Mega Finish Strike, but he's able to block it, and he attacks him with exploding lightning. So to escape they become the Alien Rangers. You haven't seen those at all this season. So Noah keeps trying to fix it while the other Rangers try to fight him. This time it's Jungle Fury, but even then they can't break through his shield. So for another trick, they change into an older Sentai before Mighty Morphin Changeman, saying that they have the power of a dragon. They cover that up, and that holds them off a little bit. Finally, Noah shows up with a big-ass blaster finally finished, and he has Troy hold it. It requires all the Super Megaforce keys to fire in it. And aptly so, they call it the Super Mega Cannon, and it pierces the guy's defense. And so Turtellini gets destroyed. And now back in the world of politics, Transfer is attacking another summit. Fortunately, the Rangers blast him away. The main fight is against Jake and Noah, who seem to have no problem fighting back against him. And actually swap weapons so they're dual-wielding 2 blasters or 2 sabers. And after doing a Super Mega Blast, it finally switches them back. And like most episodes this season, the Megazord battle happens extremely quick. I don't even think he really could fight them in that way. They just brought out the Megazord and the Q-Rex and they did their attacks real quick and that was it. Then Ghostface says, alright, you somehow have the Ninja Storm so you can become the legendary Ninja Megazord. How? I don't know, they just have it now. And so the new Megazord, which is based off the Green Samurai Ranger Zord. I forget what it was, I only saw Ninja Force like once years ago. And it becomes multiple of them that they use to destroy it. So once again, another pathetic Zord battle. And when they're talking later on, it turns out that Ryan was busy fixing his pod that he arrived in, and never heard the call to come join the battle at first. What a convenient excuse. You just didn't have the footage of him and didn't want to make new stuff. But the day's not over yet. Jake still promised Emma he'd go to the sanctuary. But he tries to fake that he's still in the wrong body, but she don't buy it, so she pulls him off. And that's where it ends. Overall, this was a pretty okay episode. Actually, the few minutes of silly comedy when they're trying to beat her at school were pretty much the best parts of this episode. Battle scenes were just done really quickly. I mean, the first one where Jake and Noah were fighting together before they got switched was pretty impressive. But the rest? They were all just over in a flash. Now, the Jungle Fury scene when they tried to combine their powers in the punch was really good, even if it didn't work. Shows that they're actually paying attention to what their abilities could be. And the Ninja Storm Final Strike would have been more impressive if there was some more build up to getting the Ninja Storm powers. Instead, the last couple of new Megazord forms, they just start the battle, then all of a sudden they have it. Before it even makes it look like the new monster's gonna be even a threat in giant form. Which is really disappointing. They could have really made that impactful if they made it seem like an actual challenge. I gotta say, the two actors for Jake and Noah were actually pretty good, because they had to adapt completely new personas as the same characters, and it turned out very good. Pretty funny to see Noah call him Mr. B so many times, just so casually. Overall, I'd give this episode B-. Wasn't bad, but there wasn't a whole lot that really make it shine, aside from a few comedic moments. So hopefully the next episode will get a lot better. Until then, I'm Jargus Zero, and thanks for watching. Let the power protect you.